episode switches back and forth between the 1600s New Jerusalem and our present day timeline in Castle Rock, where we see our town is celebrating their 400-year Unity Festival. We learn more about Ace's plans, and we have our biggest connection yet from season 1 to season 2. We're going to talk about that and much more. Hey everybody, Elliot back again with my weekly recap / review for the latest episode of Castle Rock Season 2, Episode 7, which was titled The Word, An Angel Watches Over This Place. We're going to talk about all the stuff from New Jerusalem, the Unity Festival, and that surprise ending. We're going to talk about all that here in a bit, but before we dive into this review, definitely consider subscribing to my channel. Hit that notification bell so you can stay up to date with my latest videos. And if and when you have seen this episode of Castle Rock, I gotta know what you're thinking in the comments below. Let's have some fun discussions down there. Now, forewarning, as I've done with all of my other reviews for this season of Castle Rock, this is a spoiler review. So if you haven't seen this episode yet, go check it out. Enjoy the episode. Come back and watch this video and let me know what you thought of it. So with that being said, let's jump into this review here in this recap. So first and foremost, the episode I was on board with stuff that was going on, even though I'm a big fan. Like, my biggest enjoyment of the season so far has definitely been the Annie and the Rita and the Joy stuff. And whenever we kind of divert from that and go into the Pop storyline, the Nadia and the Abby, I'm just like, oh, I want to go back here. But this episode definitely kind of caught me by surprise towards the end. So let's start this recap off by, so we start the episode off in 1619, I believe, sometime in the 1600s in New Jerusalem. We see Amity for the first time in full form, and we see that she's at the altar of her village and her town. She's telling people, hey, this town is cursed, there's a lot of doom going on, there's no food, and this, that, and the other. Her dad's just sitting there looking at her like, nope, you're not going to be preaching none of that witchcraft, as he calls it, and shuns Amity, which is his daughter, and Amity's lover, which I believe his name was Augustin, who we find out is later on in the episode is Ace, who's embodying the character in the present day. They're shunned out of their town. So we see that they're in the woods, they're not having food, you know, they're probably close to death, but something's calling out to Amity. She walks up towards this cliff, and we see this mysterious figure in a cloak walk up to her and show her something. It's some lights going on, and she's just like taken in by this prophecy, or whoever this person is, as we'll talk about a little bit later in this review. But we kind of get that cold open and get a better understanding of what's Amity about and what her situation was. So this episode definitely kind of switches between that, and then we go to our current present timeline, which we see the town is gearing up for their 400th year anniversary of a Unity Festival, which is essentially, I believe, the beginnings of Castle Rock. And we see all that. They're preparing for the Amity, or the Unity Festival. We see our one scene with Annie, where she tells the police that she was robbed by Rita. And she says that Rita died. Hopefully they'll address that in the next episode, because they really didn't go back to that in this episode. So I'm wondering, I mean, obviously she was shot, but I would thought they would have showed her. I don't know if she died, and then I'm gonna have to watch an episode again. But she says she died, but she was defending herself. It was self-defense because she was being robbed. And the cop is like, oh, why'd you have a syringe? This, that, and the other. And then pretty much the scene this plays out, we just see them that they're taking, I assume they're taking them to be questioned by the police and investigate the case more, because Joy comes into the room, and that's literally the only scene that we got with Annie and Joy. So I would imagine next week picks up and we find out what happens there. Then we kind of transition again to, we got Pops, played by Tim Robbins, and he returns to Shawshank, the prison, the prison there. As we know, he was the lead in the film, which is a pretty cool callback. He's going back to his old stomping grounds from the movie that he was in, and one of the best movies ever, actually. Really good movie. But anyway, he's back there. We see Pops, aka Reggie, as John calls him Reggie, and we find out he's visiting this character named John, who was married to Belinda, I believe her name was, Brenda, which was his wife. He kills her. I don't know if we'll figure out more about that. I don't know if it was due to PTSD from him going to the war. But we find out that he's the father of Chris and Ace. He tells Reggie, aka Pops, that Ace had visited him in prison a couple weeks ago, but also we found out that Ace visited cell block D, which was the cage that we had the boy, or the kid that they call him in season 1, played by Bill Skarsgård, that he visited that cage and no one was there. We're going to talk about that a little bit later, but he vanishes. His clothes are there, but no one's there. So that was really interesting. We're going to definitely talk about that towards the end of this review here. So we go back to Amy's timeline. She returns home to her people. Her dad isn't happy to see her back because she's bringing food to the people, and people are really looking up to her as like a prophet. So he doesn't like that. And everyone's bowing down to her, which her dad did not like at all. And we kind of see how that plays out. She burns her dad and a couple other of the people that didn't believe her. And the town's now kind of taking her in as kind of a leader. So we transition back to the current timeline where Pops goes to the Marston house, sees that Ace has a group of people, the cancel lady, policeman, Hazam, which is Abby's friend, and he just has a gang of people building things in the house, making paintings of the story that we're watching in the past, which is Amity and Augustin and the whole prophecy and everything that she has going. And Pops is just kind of like, what are you doing, Ace? What are you doing here? And then we kind of see that the people around Ace is definitely looking to kill Pops. So Pops definitely had to get out of there. And he decides to go to his to Abby and tell Abby this news that Ace is doing something. We need to figure it out. Your boy was over there. We need to look into it a little bit more. But there's one character that really hasn't gotten that much backstory, right? Is Abby. Like, I wonder if he's going to play some pivotal role or if he's going to eventually die. But he's gotten very little to no story thread. And it'll be interesting to see if he gets more in the coming episodes. So we see Ace has a plan to sabotage the festival and bring back Annie, because she's in custody now. He wants to figure out how to get Annie back so he can put her in the vessel, his love, Amity. So again, we get multiple scenes cutting between the present day and the New Jerusalem timeline. We see that Amity is told by her prophet, or this mysterious figure, this is a statue now, that she has to do something to her people. She has to change her people and, do this kind of ritual that he's demanding of her. So we see that she does that. She slits this little boy's throat. She has Augustin kill her or slit her throat, put the bug in her mouth, and say in 400 years, find me a vessel and we'll be back together and reunited in 400 years from now. So we see that scene kind of play out, and then we go back to the festival. So we see Ace is talking to the people. We see Abney sees his friend burn one of the policemen and now knows that there's definitely something going on. But Ace reveals a gift to the town, which is a statue of the mysterious figure that we got at the beginning of the episode. And as things kind of peel back the statue and we go back to the past, we see that the person in the hood is the kid, aka Bill Skarsgård. This is our biggest reveal, our biggest connection from season 1 to season 2. Is he a demon? Is he the devil? What is going on? Because I'm not going to lie, I don't remember much of season 1, because if you all know, I wasn't the biggest fan of season 1, but what is he? What is this mysterious figure? Again, is he the devil? Is he some type of warlock? What is going on? But he is back now, and I would imagine we're going to get a little bit more understanding of what this character is. But that was the biggest moment of the episode. Pop sees that the town is locked into the statue, and that they're going to probably do the same ritual that they did 400 years ago, where people are going to be slitting their throats and bringing themselves to this prophet, to this statue, to this figure, to this demon, to this devil. We don't know, but that was definitely the biggest moment for me, and I really enjoyed that kind of reveal, because I didn't see it coming. I would imagine if they would have brought Bill Skarsgård on, it would have been earlier in the season. But now it's so late in the season, it'll be interesting to see if they're able to pull this off, right? Because whenever you start introducing new characters like Amity, the reason I wasn't on vibe with the beginning of the episode, because it's like, okay, I'm so connected in this storyline. Why are you guys introducing particularly new characters? But I'm hoping that they're going to stick to landing. We got 3 more episodes, so I would imagine next episode is going to address what happened to Annie and Joy, and maybe get a little bit more backstory about the kid and what his origins are and the mythology of this character, and obviously see what the town is going to do now that they're possessed by this figure. So again, I really enjoyed the episode. I imagine that Pops and Abby's going to get involved more, and Joy potentially, and they're going to all have to team up to try to figure out. I don't really see this being like a team up versus evil thing, because again, we have Annie to deal with. We have the stuff with Abby and his daughter, and where is she? She was barely in this episode. She wasn't in this episode at all. So they got a lot of storylines to tie up, but so far I've really been enjoying this episode. And I wasn't the biggest fan of season 1, but I really enjoyed that little surprise by Bill Skarsgård, because even though I wasn't a fan of season 1, I'm a big fan of Bill Skarsgård. Him being Pennywise has changed my thought process and the way I look at him as an actor. He's phenomenal. So hopefully we get more of him and a little bit more of his backstory regarding how he's tied into all of this stuff with the Marston house, with the vessel, with Amity, with Augustine. So I really enjoyed this episode. But that's my thoughts. That's my review. Let me know in the comments what you all are thinking, your theories, your pros, your cons of this episode, and what you hope to see in episode 8, which I'll be back to review that next week. So definitely do me a favor, like this video, share this video, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Check out all of the reviews that I've previously done for Parasite, all the Mandalorian episodes, Apple TV Plus, and many more things that I've reviewed over the past weekend. And I got some more reviews coming soon from Queen and Slim. We got a couple other movies dropping this weekend, so definitely keep an eye out for those reviews. Thank you for watching this review. Definitely follow us on our social media accounts, Instagram particularly, where I am definitely keeping up with all the movie news and TV news, so follow us there. Thank you all for watching this review, and we'll see you on the next video.